My biggest site-wide sale of the year is right around the corner, and this is probably my favorite Black Friday sale offer yet. So mark your calendars for November 22nd when the sale kicks off. You'll find all my website templates on sale, all my courses on sale, and 4 new Showit add-on templates launching that I'm just so thrilled about. Plus, I'm offering some bigger deals with bundles for the first time ever this year, and you can get all the details at elizabethmccravey.com/BF and join the waitlist to be able to shop the sale a day earlier with some special bonuses. So I can't wait to see ya on November 22nd for the 2024 Black Friday event. Now, here's the episode. All right, so you want a new website template, maybe your first website template, maybe it's your 20th, but you're feeling like, okay, I really love X one, but I also love Y one, and I like this thing on that one and that thing on that one, and I don't know how to pick. And you're spending hours poring over every page of the website templates, comparing between 2 browser or 3 browser tabs, up between all these different options, and you're driving yourself crazy trying to decide. You ask for second opinions, but no one's really that helpful, and it is just tough. So I just want to say you're not crazy if choosing a website template feels challenging to you. I promise you're not. It's a hard decision, and there's a lot of factors that play into why you might like one template more than another. And I really just want to help you because indecision's real, and you've got a lot of options. So I'm a website template designer on Showit of 6 years now. I've had my shop for 6 years. And this is actually probably the most common question we get in my inbox from potential customers of just like, hey, how do I pick a Showit website template? I like all your templates. They're all beautiful, perhaps is what, but seriously, some people do say that. They're all beautiful. They're all lovely. How do I pick? So if this is you, just know you're not alone if you struggle with which template to go with. And in this episode, I have a few just really, honestly, just straightforward tips to help you choose a template, no fuss, straight to the point. And also within these tips, some things you may not know about templates that maybe once you know these things, it'll help you in the decision-making process. Because I actually think when we really look at it, a lot of the indecision and difficulties when choosing a template has to do with you not understanding what's customizable, what's not, what's harder to change, what's easier to change, and those sorts of things. So I think this episode's really going to help you in understanding that so you can make the decision. I'm excited. Let's get to it. Hey guys, I'm Elizabeth McCravey, an online educator for entrepreneurs, website designer, wife, boy mom, and your host for the Breakthrough Brand podcast, the show that's all about pulling back the curtain on how to actually build a successful business. I don't skim the surface around here. If you want to dive deep into the nitty-gritty details of what it takes to run a sustainable business that fits your unique lifestyle while standing out in a crowd, then you are in the right place. I created a multiple 6-figure a year business in my early 20s, and now in my 30s, I'm still running that successful multiple 6-figure a year business on just part-time hours now as a working mom. I'm here to share everything I've learned and everything I'm still learning because I believe that the keys to building a thriving business should never be a secret. Here you'll find episodes that are actionable, direct, and fun, like friends chatting business over coffee, and a fresh, honest take on the reality of being an entrepreneur. If you're ready to master online marketing, website design, personal branding, mindset, time management as a busy parent, scalable and passive income, and business strategy, then this is the podcast for you. It's time to build your breakthrough brand. Let's do this. Okay, before I get to these simple 7 tips for picking your template, I want to say if you're listening to this live-ish, then congrats, my friend, because you have found the best time of year to buy a template for my shop because it is Black Friday time, and my sale officially starts on November 22nd of 2024, and it goes until December 2nd. It's the biggest sale of the year, and you can get on the wait list and get the info for it at elizabethmccravey.com/BF. So this is the time to buy. Again, biggest sale of the year, lots of bonuses, lots of bundle options, and all sorts of things. My courses will also be on sale as well if that's what you're interested in more than a website template. And if you're thinking like, okay, Elizabeth, I hear you. I'm excited about this sale. I want to buy, but I don't think I can choose a template that quickly. And hopefully this episode will help you in choosing. But if that's you, stay tuned to the end of this episode because I also have some helpful things there too. If you are feeling like, oh my gosh, I can't pick a template before Black Friday ends, I've got stuff for you there. But anyway, elizabethmccravey.com/BF. And again, you might be listening to sales already live. Just go to my website to shop that sale. Okay, now my 7 tips for picking your template in no particular order, but also kind of in an order that I think is helpful as you think about it. So I'm assuming right now as I talk to you, that you've got a few templates you keep pulling up on your browser tabs and you're kind of comparing between, and you like one for a certain reason and another for a different reason, all the things. So these are the things I want you to think about as you analyze the templates. First thing, focus on the layout and the structure of the template more than the colors and the business it's modeled for, okay? And really just, I could even add to that because I'm going to talk about colors and the business it's modeled for as we keep going. But really my number one tip is that when you look at templates, you want to focus on the layout and the structure of the template because that is ultimately what you're buying, okay? The colors and the fonts and the images, all of that can be easily changed out, which again, I'm going to talk about. And also the business it's modeled for, what I mean by that is that like you might be a photographer, but you really love a template and it looks like it's modeled for a business coach. And by modeled, I mean like what the filler content in the images apply that's for. So that does not mean that the template is not a good fit for you as a photographer. And at least with my templates, it still has what you need as a photographer. It's just a different layout and a different vibe with different fonts. And so I want you to focus on the layout you like best and the layout and structure you think will work best with your particular business. So everything on your template's editable. Showit is insane as a platform if you've never played with it and never like logged in and used it. I mean, literally, guys, it is insane, especially if you're coming from another website platform where it is like, yeah, like that logo at the top, you really can't move it easily. With Showit, you can really move everything around that you want to. It's a lot more similar to Canva than some kind of structured like coding based system. So everything's really easy to move. But the reason I say to focus on the layout and the structure more than other things is because that's what you're buying, okay? The position of everything is probably something you don't want to edit much. That's why you bought a website template versus building your website from scratch. So yeah, like the structure of the contact page, like it's going to be to your advantage to just leave the structure, leave that layout. Same for your about page. Like, yes, you might reorder some things. You might, take out a section or move some things around slightly, but the layout is what you are buying and what you don't want to change. And what's harder to change, honestly, that's when you start to get into like making more of a custom website when you're changing up the layout a lot. So anyway, focus on the layout and the structure. Try to ignore to the best of your ability the business the template's modeled for, because again, it just because it looks like it's modeled for a coach doesn't mean it doesn't work for you as a counselor or a bookkeeper. Maybe you're a podcaster, but you like this template that's for photographers. Like all those things don't have to mean anything. So when you really can just like peel back all the other stuff and look at the layout, that is going to be the most helpful thing. So that's really my number one tip is like focusing on that layout and structure versus all the other stuff. Okay, 2, know that change out the colors is insanely easy. So honestly, the colors, as much as I love the colors of my templates and things like that, that does not have to be part of your buying decision. If you want to be part of your buying decision because you're like, yeah, like I love these colors, this is amazing, like this is the exact colors I want to use on my website, great. But if you find a template and you're like, oh, this is like more colorful and cheerful, and I like to do a more like a moody and subdued palette, do not let the colors freak you out. You can still use that colorful template and change it to be more muted colors. And it's actually, again, like I said, Showit's insane. Everything's really cool, but the colors is actually like, I would say the easiest thing to change on a template of all the things you can customize, but you literally go into what's called the global design settings, meaning the design settings for the entire website. And you have 8 different colors that your website template is using. White is almost always one of the colors. So you can kind of almost cancel that out. And then there's 7 other colors. Usually template designers set it up from darkest to lightest. So lightest white will be number 8. And then number 1 will typically be like the black color or shade of a dark gray or black that the template's using. And literally, guys, you change out the hex code. Like which hex code is the color code for a color that the web uses. You can even just like move a little browser little thing around and pick on a color wheel of like what color you want. And then you press save. And now just to use an example, let's say the template had pink in it and pink was color number 3 and you've changed it from pink to blue. Now anywhere that pink was on that entire template is going to be changed to blue. Isn't that crazy? It's so cool how quick it works like that. So anyway, if you love the colors, that's great, but that doesn't need to be the number one decision. And one thing I want to say, because this is something that happens with my customers sometimes. So if you love the color palette of one template, let's say, for example, you love the color palette of the Jenna template, but you like the structure more for your business of the Gabby template. Maybe you like the menu better. Maybe it has layouts and fonts that you feel fit your business better. Email us and we will send you the color and font information for the Jenna template, and then you can put it into the Gabby template literally in, again, like 3 minutes, maybe, like really quick. So if the color palette is the thing hanging you up, just know that I'm happy to send you the color palette info for a template, and then you can put it into a different template that maybe the structure fits better for your business. Okay, third thing to know to help you choose the best template for your business. Changing the fonts on your template is also easy. So that same global design setting thing I talked about for colors, that's also where your fonts are declared, and you change them out in a one click, and it changes everywhere on your website that those fonts were used. But fonts are less easy to change than colors. So the actual process of changing it's easy, right? It's just in a click, a little snap, and then it's done. But you will have to like realign and resize some things throughout your website when you change out the fonts, because fonts render differently. So, maybe the template has the font size for the title font set at 40, and that all fits well on the template, but now you change it to a different font, and now all of a sudden size 40 is gigantic and it looks horrible. So you got to go through and change some stuff. So I just wanted to point that out, that like fonts is maybe something to put more weight on in your template decision than colors, but also knowing that it's easy to change. And I want to add too, with my templates, you can keep the fonts in your templates or you can change them out, up to you. The templates all mostly use free fonts, and if they use paid fonts, then I provide the information for you to buy a proper web license to use that font. And when I do use paid fonts, I try to keep them all under $40 for you. So you're not going to have to spend more than that. And if you look at the template, you'll see information. It tells you whether or not the template uses free or paid fonts. So just know that's something too to think about, because you could buy a template and be like, oh my gosh, I love the fonts. But then you buy it and you realize you guys spent like $300 to buy all the fonts to use them on the website. And now your template that was, $1,000 is now more like $1,300. So that's something to consider. But yes, changing the fonts is easy, but that's also something that you might not want to change. So something to like focus on liking the fonts of the template you buy. Okay, number 4, think about your own content and photos in the template and what feels like with the structure, the fonts maybe even, fits really well for your brand. So just try to visualize your business in it. And I think the photos make a huge impact on the look and feel of a template, and that's something people don't talk about enough. So being able to see, okay, like my photos, these are my brand photos, maybe you're going to do a photo shoot to go with your template, whatever it is, but looking to see that those photos are going to match the template well. So a great way to like explore this with my templates at least is to go to elizabethmccravey.com/showcase. You can see hundreds of different template customers. You can sort them by what template they're using or what industry they're in. And you can see how their photos, how the font changes, how the color changes affect how the template looks. So that's a really great way to just see like, okay, I really like the Gabby template. Let me look and see how different people are using that template. elizabethmccravey.com/showcase. But I think that's really helpful to remember, and just reminding yourself that it's all customizable. So there's any tiny things you don't love, but the rest of what you're obsessed with, it's probably an easy fix. But trying to visualize your own content in it is going to be huge. Okay, number 5, this is another thing not to focus on. So remember, we said you're focusing the most on the layout and structure and also the fonts more so than the colors. But don't focus on the order things appear on a page, on how the template is using a page, or if there's a page you need that's not on the template. So let me explain those. So Showit websites are structured using pages, and within the pages, something called canvases. And a canvas is just a section of the page. And canvases can be deleted. They can be moved around. They can be moved around within the page. They can move to a different page, all the different things. So as you're looking at a page on maybe it's the service page for the template you're interested in, but you're like, oh my gosh, this canvas, I'm going to use that word, I would never use that. Or I would actually want that canvas to be at the bottom of the page, not as the second thing on that page. Just know that is literally so easy to move around. Like again, just clicks in just seconds. So that's not something to really focus on or obsess over. And then also don't focus on how the template is using a page. And what I mean by that is maybe you really like the service page layout, but you're like, oh, but they're really pitching this particular kind of service. And that's what the filler content's using. That's so different than mine. Again, just remembering it's all customizable. So that's not the thing to focus on. Maybe too, you look at this template and you're like, I actually want 5 different portfolio pages for all the different types of photography I do. But this template only has one portfolio page. You can duplicate that page and make more. You can do all sorts of things, and you're not limited to the amount of pages the template comes with. You can have as many pages on your Showit website as you want, actually. I would know because I have over 100 on my own website because my entire Showit template shop is actually hosted just within my Showit website. So just because your template only comes with 15 pages doesn't mean you can only have 15 pages. And you can actually duplicate a page to make a new page. So maybe you really like the structure of the about page and you duplicate that to be the page for your podcast. I mean, I don't know. I mean, there's so many things you can do. Everything is so super customizable. Okay, 6th thing. Take my website personality quiz. Okay. If you've been a listener of this podcast for even a little bit, you've probably heard me talk about this, but this quiz matches you with a website personality and gives you templates to choose from within that personality profile. Plus you get free Canva templates and a discount code on my template. So you get Canva templates that match your personality and then a discount code for the Showit website templates. But I really think this can help you narrow things down. And the quiz is something I really am proud of with this quiz is it's focused on not just thinking about like, hey, Kate taking my quiz, what's your personal style? What's your personal thing you like on a template? It's focused on like, hey, Kate, what will your clients like? What will your potential customers like? And so that's the angle, not just your own personal taste. So I think that's really going to help you pick a website template that's going to go well for your own business. And I also give you tips within your personality type and all sorts of things. So anyway, I think this quiz can be a huge factor in narrowing things down. And you can go to elizabethmccravey.com/quiz to take that. Another thing I think is worth doing that I'm just going to add in as a bonus tip within the quiz, email us. My shop offers amazing customer support and support for pre-customers. Is that the right term? Someone who's not a customer yet, a potential customer. But if you email us and you want to say like, hey guys, this is what I do in my business. I'm between these 3 templates. Here's why I'm between them. What should I do? Literally, we are happy to help you. Be like, hey, thanks for that information. Here's the template I think makes the most sense for you. So if you have that question, email us and we will help you. You can email hello@elizabethmccravey.com to get that help. And if you also have any other burning questions that you're like, would help you understand this process better, help you decide, you can include those as well. Okay, the 7th thing for choosing the best Showit template for your business. Sometimes I think it's best to choose a designer first who you like and you trust their style and you feel like they're a good fit for your business and pick between their templates versus just Google searching and being like, I'm going to choose between all the Showit templates everywhere as your search pond. So if you're feeling overwhelmed by all the options, this is a great way to narrow your search, picking the designer and then picking within their template collection. So I want to say a reason this is really helpful is because not all pretty templates are actually functional on the back end. A lot of pretty templates that are really cheap are poorly designed and they're hard to customize. I'm just being honest. And I try to train designers so that we can make less templates like that, but that's the reality that there are a lot of templates that look great but are hard to work with. Also, a lot of templates that look great are not good for SEO. They don't provide any training. They don't provide any support. Like there's all kinds of issues that you can run into that make it like, oh yeah, that template looks good but wasn't a good purchase. So that's why I think it can be helpful to pick a designer you trust first. And I talked about this on last week's episode. I believe that was episode 293 when I shared about things to do before you buy a Showit template. But a problem you can run into is if you shop with the biggest Showit template shops ever, you may have a site that looks a lot like your competitors if you guys all end up using the same template. So again, I talked about that more in last week's episode, but I think this can also be a way that choosing a designer first and then choosing the template second can help because maybe you're choosing a designer that you feel like all your competitors are not also using. So those are my 7 tips. And yes, there's more things I could share, but I feel like these are the 7 things to really think about. And hopefully hearing some stuff about like the way changing fonts and colors and things like that work on the back end is helpful to you. But again, I think the biggest thing is picking a designer you trust, picking a layout you like, and knowing other things can change. And with my shop, taking that personality quiz. So again, I know these decisions are hard. And I would also just add as like a final tip, when all else fails, go with your gut, because there might be like a gut instinct template that you feel like you like the most and you're like struggling because there's this one thing on another template you also like. Just pull the trigger and get the template that you feel like you like the most. And I said at the end that I have a Black Friday kind of surprise for you guys to share at the end. But if you feel like you can't just decide yet, you're like, oh my gosh, Elizabeth, I'm excited for Black Black Friday. I know this is your biggest sale of the year. I'm ready to shop, but I appreciate these tips, but I don't think I can decide by the time Black Friday is over. I'm offering this for the first time ever in my business, a save now, choose later option. So you can lock in my Black Friday deal, lock in the bonuses, all the things, but not choose your template until next year. Literally wait until 2025, pick your template then, but go ahead and lock in the deals now so you can just enjoy November and December holiday season. Maybe you're running your own Black Friday sale that has you really busy to where you don't have time to pick a template. So you can save now, get that deal, and choose your template later. And again, all that information can be found at elizabethmccravy.com/BF. And my sale officially starts on November 22nd. So come on over and start shopping. And my courses, Booked Out Designer and Podcast Success Blueprint, are on sale as well. And also my Canva workbook template, profit sheet, my launch debrief. I'm putting everything on sale. It's literally a site-wide sale. I'm so excited. You guys know I love Black Friday. So once the sale starts, come on over and shop. And again, I hope these tips help. And if you do need more help picking your template, again, always feel free to email me, hello@elizabethmccravy.com, and we're happy to help you make the decision. All right, bye, you guys. Hey, thank you for listening to the podcast all the way to the end. I appreciate you being here. And if you enjoyed this episode, then I want to invite you to check out my website template shop too. Over on elizabethmccravy.com, you'll find Showit website templates that are easy to use, strategically designed, and created to help you make more money from your website. Maybe your current website is really boring, maybe it's a challenge to update, and maybe it's even the thing you feel like is holding your business back. Your website needs to be strategically and intentionally designed in order for it to convert your viewers into raving customers, and that's exactly what my templates do. These templates are designed to be SEO friendly on the back end, not just pretty, and also strategic with all the strategies I teach on the show, and they are easy for you to set up all by yourself. So shop them at elizabethmccravy.com/shop and come join thousands of happy customers using these templates. And as an added perk, you can use the code BBPodcast at checkout to get 10% off your template as a thank you for being part of the podcast fam. Again, that's BB Podcast for 10% off any template over on elizabethmccravy.com. Also, if you loved this episode, leaving a rating and review for the show on wherever you're listening or sharing it with a friend is a great way to support this podcast. Thank you again for listening, and I'll be back next week with a new episode.